has been a while since I have done a best password managers video, and given the recent data breach and LastPass's handling of said breach, see my previous video about that, I felt it kind of mandatory to give y'all a well-researched update on what is new this year. With the countless password managers available to you these days, how do you choose the best one? Well, this is something that I have researched and tested many times over the years as a security and privacy advocate. So these are my top 5 password managers of the year. Now, all of these are paid services, although some of them offer free plans, and I have added some new testing requirements to each of these critiques. I base my best ofs on pricing, features, compatibility, cross-platform, reliability, sharing or family plans, and security. These are in no particular order or list, as one may work better for you and your specific threat modeling than another. I have partnered with a great privacy company to bring you this video as well. Valentine's Day is coming up, so why not mix it up this year and get your spouse the flowers? I mean, I like having flowers in my studio, so why not? But also, give them the gift of privacy by signing up for Delete Me. If you are watching this channel, you're probably pretty privacy conscious, but if your family is not, then data about you could still be leaking on the web. That's because data brokers sites use data points about you and family members to make connections. Now here's some tea. One of these data brokers, LexisNexis, has even said that they can, and I quote, identify relatives, associates, and neighbors who may show up in photos or be mentioned in social media postings with a search of hundreds of networks and millions of sites on the open web. So there you go. You can be great at privacy and personally opt out of data collection, but data brokers can still collect info on you based on another person's records. That could be something like your home address that's shared with your spouse or a sibling or a parent. I use Delete Me and I have loved their service for years, as it saved me tons of time opting out of these data broker sites. I have an exclusive coupon code as well just for my viewers. You can use the code SNUBS at checkout, that's SNUBS, for 20% off any of the consumer plans. That's SNUBS for 20% off, and see how Delete Me can help your loved ones stay private. Click the link below to sign up today, and a huge thank you to Delete Me for sponsoring this episode. So the ones on my list include Bitwarden, RoboForm, 1Password, Keeper, and Dashlane. All of these are paid services, but some of them do offer free tiers or trials. I will be focusing on the paid features as well as freebies. So for these examples, I will not be using my actual password manager accounts. I'm just going to be using dummy ones for all the screen overviews, just to protect my actual data, so you will only see 1 or 2 vault items on the screen. My real accounts have like 600 logins, so that's why. So the first one is Bitwarden. So Bitwarden popped up on my radar around 2020, and they have some really great security and features. Bitwarden has personal plans starting at free for just 1 user, that's great, or $10 per year for access to more 2FA options. They also have emergency access in case you want to give a trusted person access to your passwords for emergencies, and other features as well. They also have family plans, a free 2-person sharing plan, or $3.33 per month for up to 6 users with premium features. Bitwarden is open source, and it has a global community to vet their security, and that's a big thing for me. If you want a self-hosted password manager instead of having it sync up to the cloud, they include that option too for free. They are also cross-platform. The native desktop applications run on Windows, Mac, or Linux. They have a browser plugin for all the popular browsers, even Tor and Brave are on that list. And they also have a mobile app for iOS and Android devices. Now, the Android app has a couple of built-in trackers for things like crash reporting, so that's something to keep in mind. For logging in, they do support physical hardware keys for 2-factor authentication like my YubiKey, but that's only available for the paid plans. So if you opt for the free plan, your options are either an authentication app or via email. There is a built-in TOTP authenticator called Bitwarden Authenticator, also available for the premium plans. Now, sharing is limited to those family plans, though you can set up a free plan and share with one other person. Their Vault Health reports, which will evaluate the security of your vault based on password strength, exposed passwords, etc., is only available to those paid premium users. One nifty feature is their encrypted send, which allows you to send text for free or files for a premium plan with other folks. Now you can set an expiration date for access, you can set a password, hide your email address from recipients. It creates this link and you can send that to other folks to give them private access to the text or the file. I also really like the domain rules feature. If you mark several domains as using the same login across them, they will be considered global domains or equivalents. This can be useful if a mobile app for a brand uses a different domain than their browser website, so you can mark both of them as using the same username and password. So when you open the application, Bitwarden should automatically recognize it and can autofill it without you having to copy and paste the username and password over to the app, and in my experience, it actually does work, so it works really well. Storage is available for things like encrypted attachments for those paid plans as well, and I would say that it's very easy to import data from other password managers if you do want to switch to Bitwarden. On the con side, I would not say that Bitwarden is as robust as some of its competitors in terms of features. The user interface feels kind of old school, and I had not noticed any major upgrades from the last time I tested the app about a year ago. Now, if you like this video, a subscribe would mean a lot to me. On the nerdy side, I use subscriptions as an indicator on the back end of YouTube that I'm actively building an audience here who is interested in these kind of topics. So it lets me know that you find value in this kind of content. So thank you so much for hitting up this video, and thank you so much for subscribing if you choose to do so. Let's go ahead and continue. Next up is RoboForm. So RoboForm costs about $24 per year for a single user with cross-platform syncing, or $48 for a family of 5 before any discounts. There is a free plan, and they do let you test out the premium plan with a free trial. RoboForm also offers offline access to passwords via the desktop and mobile apps, and they also have a self-hosted local-only storage option which does not sync into the cloud. Importing from other password managers is a total breeze. You just choose whichever one you are importing from and you follow the on-screen directions within the application. RoboForm has a very strong encryption platform. They're using AES 256-bit encryption with salted hashing. There are desktop applications for Windows and Mac, and there's also browser extensions for Chrome and Firefox. Android, which does have 2 trackers mainly for crash reporting, and iOS also have mobile applications as well. Now, when it comes to logging in, RoboForm supports TOTP-based authenticator apps, but no hardware keys, and this is not available via the free version either. They are also now including their own TOTP 2FA authenticator in the application itself, so that's a plus. This means that you can store 2FA keys right inside the application, or you can use RoboForm to generate and fill codes for TOTP 2FA. Granting emergency access and syncing across devices are both paid features, but using the password audit for your vault is completely free. Keyboard shortcuts are totally a thing with RoboForm, and I think that's pretty dang cool, especially if you can memorize a few of them. It makes life so much faster. RoboForm excels at form filling, and this is the really big thing about RoboForm. So for example, if you're on a checkout screen and you need to fill out your shipping address and your phone and your contact email and your name and your credit card and all the things, their form filling is very robust and it's really smart. The Vault in the web browser is also really user-friendly, though I would argue that the desktop application is not as intuitive and it looks very Web 1.0. Like, I feel like I should download AIM Instant Messenger next to it. RoboForm has also introduced that domain equivalency, so if you use the same login across the board, like for apple.com and iCloud.com, for example, then you can just mark them as equivalents, and this is great for application passwords too. I appreciate that RoboForm automatically generates strong and unique passwords. It does not default to something that's easy to read or incredibly short in length, so if you're into password generation, this is a really great option. It's also really good at automatically capturing passwords to save into your vault as you browse, so you don't have to manually save them all one by one. Some businesses cannot use RoboForm because of the extension being required, so just keep that in mind if you're thinking about bringing this to your company. Next up is 1Password. 1Password is $2.99 per month for a single user or $4.99 for a family plan that includes sharing and account recovery for up to 5 people. They also have a free 14-day trial as well. Now, both paid plans include their AES 256-bit encryption to keep your vault secure, and they also have a no-knowledge policy for privacy. 1Password also has no trackers in their Android app. Now, 1Password uses a special security key whenever you sign up alongside the regular username and password that you would normally have. The device that you sign up with will generate this security key called a secret key. This gets stored in your emergency kit, which you can download and store somewhere safe. Account recovery and emergency access features are separate from this, and both of those are available through the family plan. Now, 1Password does support 2FA with a hardware key, yay, on either types of paid subscription accounts, and they also have a TOTP authenticator for one-time passwords built in. Now, it is one of the strong competitors in terms of cross-platform support. They include browser extensions for Chrome and Firefox, Edge, even Brave is in there. There are desktop applications for Mac and Windows and Linux. Android and iOS both have apps, and they also have a version for the command line. Something cool and new for this year that I saw on 1Password is they can now remember your sign-in with provider information. So if you sign into a site with your Google account instead of a username and password, 1Password can remember that for you. It's pretty cool that it can learn what your SSO or your single sign-on services are, so you don't have to try and remember them yourself. The family account lets you share passwords and saved items with members of your 1Password family's account, while the personal version lets you share single items to single people anytime. They do have additional features like their password strength checker, and there's a password health called Watchtower. Travel mode is this really unique tool. This lets you only take specific passwords with you whenever you're traveling abroad. That could be very useful for journalists and activists. So 1Password offers 1 gig of storage for files and unlimited passwords, similar to several others on the list, and they also support CSV importing. If you need to import from LastPass though, you will have to download their desktop app to complete that process. 1Password also does form filling, and they can automatically record captured passwords as you browse the web. It's really good at capturing passwords too. I noticed that when I was trying to capture passwords with my test account as well as my actual account. Now, one thing I noticed with the Android app is that I often have to go over to the 1Password app. I copy my password and paste it into the app because it does not recognize or prompt me to log into the app with autofilling. And that was an issue that I noticed with LastPass's app as well. RoboForm and Bitwarden do autofilling better on Android than 1Password does, but that's just my personal opinion. 1Password will also let you add multiple domains for a login like its competitors are now doing, and it will remember your apps. They also have integrations with other privacy platforms like privacy.com and Fastmail. 1Password is very robust. There are a lot of features, and you can save boatloads of data in your vaults, not just usernames and passwords. I would consider 1Password to be the more advanced option on this list. Let's keep it moving on to Keeper. So Keeper pops up in my best of videos all the time because they're a tried and true password manager that's been around for as long as I have been making these kind of roundup videos and reviews. They offer a free trial, and after that it's $35 annually for a personal paid account, or for a family of 5, that price goes up to $75 annually, so kind of pricey. Keeper Plus adds secure file storage and their dark web monitoring called Breach Watch for a little less than $5 extra per month. Keeper is another one that supports AES 256-bit encryption. That's kind of the standard, and they have that no-knowledge privacy standard along with no trackers in their Android app. This one is also not self-hosted, nor is it open source. They do have a TOTP authenticator built in, and they also support 2FA to log in via hardware keys. Your passwords can be shared with others via the paid plans, and they also include emergency access for both the family and the personal plans. Keeper is available on Mac, Windows, and Linux as desktop apps, as well as those popular browsers, including Brave now, and this extension is called Keeper Fill. They also have mobile apps for iOS and Android. Cross-platform syncing is built in. The desktop app and the browser web interface are practically identical. When I was testing them, I almost couldn't tell the difference between the two. Keeper Fill autofills forms and credentials into websites as you browse, and it also can generate strong randomized passwords for you as well. The form filling is limited compared to RoboForm, but importing your vaults is available from most of the popular alternatives via CSV, and the product is well designed. It's very easy to use. When I was testing the Android app, I did have a lot of trouble getting it to autofill apps and browser logins, so I did have to copy and paste the usernames and passwords from the Keeper app into my various applications and login pages. They do offer file storage as well, and the application does have a security audit to show you an overall score of your password health. Now, I feel that Keeper is a little bit limited in features compared to the others on this list, but it's really easy to work with. It's very, very simple and really convenient. Okay, we're on to number 5, and this one is Dashlane. Dashlane recently got rid of their desktop application back in November of 2020. A lot of people were not super happy about that. So your options to use it are either through the browser, through the Android app, or the iOS app. And the Android app does have a couple of trackers. So this one is relatively limited, especially in terms of autofilling for applications like on your desktop computer. Dashlane does have a limited but free version with no cross-platform syncing. For unlimited devices, it costs about $2.75 per month if billed annually. For the advanced version, that's a new version, I believe. I don't think I saw that one last year. There's a $4.99 per month version called Premium, which does include a VPN, and for $7.49 per month when billed annually for a family plan, that will give you up to 10 accounts under the same plan. Now, Dashlane is not open source. It does not have a self-hosted option, but they also have a no-knowledge policy. They do support 2FA apps for logging in, but not a hardware key like a YubiKey. Dashlane, just like the other ones on this list, now supplies a built-in 2FA feature, so you can use it as an authenticator app. They also have the ability to add multiple websites to login entry, so you can autofill equivalent domains and websites as well. I did experience some trouble getting it to autofill apps on my Android phone. That seems to be kind of a common issue, but it did fine whenever I was opening links in the mobile browser. They do support importing from other password managers via CSV. Dashlane also has a password health tool to check the security of your passwords in your vault. Now, personally, nothing really stands out to me as a must with Dashlane. And since their support is fairly limited because they also don't have a desktop app, it's lower on my personal list. Nothing for Dashlane screams must-have to me, and it does not have any super unique features except for that VPN. But overall, it's a decent platform. If you're just looking for something kind of basic, then Dashlane would be it. I would not mind doing a part 2, so I could also discuss KeePass 2, there's KeePass XC, there's Zoho Vault, there's NordPass. There's a lot of good password managers that I could feature, so let me know down below if there's one that you want me to check out in a future video. When choosing your password manager, please evaluate your own risk assessment to determine what features you need most. The features that I need most may not really matter to you, and vice versa, so do take that into consideration. Y'all should watch this video if you want to see why LastPass no longer makes my best of password managers list, and check out this video that YouTube thinks that you will enjoy. Bye, y'all.